Hello and welcome to our podcast series, CPAs Unplugged. Today on the show, we have a very special guest, Skeet Haag. Skeet, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So, Skeet, you've been leading RBG for so many years. You've been around at the firm for more than 4 decades. A firm with legacy over 100 years. Why don't you talk to us about RBG and about your journey here?
Sure. I joined RBG right out of school, like you said, over 40 years ago, which is in 1981, which was a long time ago. So, our firm is 107 years old.
Wow.
It's a totally different firm, obviously, now than what it was. And, over the years, obviously, it is morphed into just a great niche firm. Being around 107 years, you tend to develop certain niches, certain expertise. And so, which we have done, and which we're very proud on how well we have served our clients.
How do you carry this legacy? Is it easy to carry? Sometimes it feels like a lot.
It all gets back to the people. We have an amazing staff. We have a great young partner director group, which really drives the firm. Culture to us is everything. And so our people drive our culture, and especially our partners and directors. And for everybody that is in our firm, we get measured how well we live our core values. And so that's what really keeps us driven, because we have just what we call RPRS, what Jim Collins made famous as right person, right seat. We take that to the nth degree to make sure we have our firm filled with RPRS.
Amazing. And how about your clients? I think one of the essence for our profession is trust. And given that RBG is around for so long, you've been around in the firm for forever.
Yeah.
So, how do you see that? I mean, do you have very old clients who've been with the firm for decades, still committed? So how's the client interaction?
Yeah. So we've got clients that we've had for 50 years.
Wow.
And it's amazing because we're really, the business climate here is just really good. The opportunities here, especially with new work. What I always say is our best practice development we can ever do is do good work. Good work begets really good work. And so when we do really good work, we get referred, and that's the best kind of way to do business development. But we have clients that go back, into the 50s, and so just keeping them that long. And again, we try and measure how well we do with our clients. And so we never take anything for granted. Never take anything for granted, because something can change tomorrow. So we always try and reinvent ourselves.
So now here in Tennessee, you're famous for music, good food. Do you really get CPAs here?
Yeah. So CPAs are accountants are always. We've got some great schools around here. We have a really robust recruiting program here, but it's hard to find good talent. And so we spend a lot of time and effort, and so we've taken some alternative routes to find that talent. For a firm like ours, I think is on the cutting edge of doing some of this. And so, so we're building our staff, not only here but abroad, and so that are able to help service our clients in an excellent way.
Okay, so Skeet, you spoke about CPAs and accountants. Sometimes hard to find, especially when you're scaling up. And we've seen this countrywide. We see a lot of firms talking about capacity challenges. There was a very interesting article in the Washington Post. It read, "The accountant shortage threatens capitalism's future." What do you think? I mean, is it overrated? Is there really a shortage of accountants? Why do you think that's happening? I mean, what's the trend that you see with accountants, with CPAs?
We live and breathe it every day as far as the shortage of talent, and so that's why we make a real big push to get on campus to recruit the best talent that we can get, and but even more so is just experienced talent. It's hard to find experienced talent, and it's a real thing, especially for us, to find really good talent. And so it's like I said, we've gone different routes on tried, because our profession is so deadline driven, and so is, the time pressures are so hard. We have what we call a live well, work well initiative here. But to do that, we got to not kill our people when we work them. So we've got to come up with strategies on how not to do that. And part of that is some of the strategies we've taken as far as workload compression.
So, and I think that's one of the reasons, right? When you look at young accountants, young professionals, graduates in college, they sometimes are scared of public accounting. They're like, this is long hours, a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, and of course, you're upholding public interest, clients, returns or audits. How has been your experience at RBG? Did you? How many times have you been burning the midnight oil of busy seasons? How has been your journey?
I'm from the old school where we did that. It was expected. When I came out of school, it was expected to do whatever and work as many hours. Today's generation is a bit different, but I did that, and I tend to do it now. I have a passion for what I do.
Sure.
And so a lot of times when your passion intersects for what you do, it's not, it doesn't become work, and so trying to build this firm and trying to build the really great people we have right here, that's my passion. And so, it is hard work. I do tend to work a lot, but we have a lot of people up here that do, but we try and create that live well, work well, balance here, and we actually try and measure that too, on how well we're trying to achieve that.
So one of the things that young graduates, especially those who are taking up accounting, are looking at is how much money would I make? Accounting doesn't start at the highest of levels, starts at a decent level. Is it all worth it? Let me ask you in a different way. Do partners make money?
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. We had a fireside chat the other day that we're going to do this every quarter with our partner director group, and it's to let our staff, and the entire staff is there, so it's to let our staff know the benefits of being in this profession. One of the and no questions is off limits. One of the questions is, how much do you make? So I didn't give an exact amount, but I gave a range for what we make, and so it's very attractive. We'll just say it's very attractive. Somebody's looking at this, wanting to be in this profession. The thing about this profession is it's just so great. It's so challenging, and if you like a challenge, and you can take this profession and you can springboard it into anything. You can go into sales, you can be a CEO. The most successful businesses I see have a number of CPAs in it running it. And so you can take our profession, go anywhere you want to go. You can do whatever and become very, very successful because you have a great understanding of the business environment, of what it takes to make money, to be successful.
So you became a CPA Skeet 40 years back, 4 decades ago. How have things changed since then? How have you seen we're talking about CPA evolution, how have you seen CPA or the profession evolve over the last 4 decades?
Oh, it's been, the evolution has just been transformative. Since I started, obviously, but technology. Technology is it. The technology has driven everything. And I love it, because with technology, with AI especially, I think AI is going to make our profession. Some people say AI is going to take the CPA role. It is not. We embrace it here. It's just going to help us. It's going to help us be better and help us better serve our clients. We're going to use AI to help serve our clients better, and it's just a natural progression. That's what we've done with technology all along. Is we've basically been able to do more with less, and be able to serve our clients better. And that's the evolution of our profession has been that. If you have not tried to do that, then you're not around yet. You're not around anymore. But we've done a pretty good job of that, of staying with that, to try and make sure that we're using technology and we're using it's the evolution of our profession to better serve our clients.
So Skeet, I was at a CFO conference with the AICPA a few months back, and I was doing a presentation. And my opening slide was, how do you make accounting sexy again? And people in the room had a bigger problem with the word again. And how do you think we make accounting glamorous, sexy, cool? Do you think technology is going to help? What's your view there? How do you make accounting attractive for young folks?
Well, I think they used the term again, because back when WorldCom and when they were around, there was all these headlines of everything going wrong, right? So that's when people started to think, so this is wow, this is kind of good. So they would get into the accounting profession. That's why I think that, do you need another WorldCom, to happen or something like that? No, you don't. But what you do is you try.
You certainly feel like a detective there.
Yeah, exactly. This is kind of a cool profession to get into.
I actually had 2 podcasts where, and even with Mark, they actually became a CPA because they wanted to get into our FBI.
Yeah. You look at something like that and you go, that's really something cool I'd like to get into. But really, if you can, this is what we try and do here at the firm, is if you try and look at it from a bigger point of view, instead of just saying, well, I'm going to go do tax returns or audits or whatever, but seeing the bigger vision of what can I learn from this and how can I take this and springboard my career. And so that you've got to put the data analytics into it. You've got to say, okay, this is what you can actually do with your profession. You can become a CEO, you can become a CFO, you can own your own firm, you can be your own thing. And that's the beauty about this profession, is you can do whatever. You got to take ownership of it though. And that if we can show everybody just the benefits of being a CPA, and because it's a wonderful profession, because again, you learn so much.
Absolutely.
And you learn by the mistakes you make. And so and I always tell everybody that I've made more mistakes than they will ever make in their life, but with every mistake I make, I try and learn from it.
Amazing. So now, that we're talking about, how the profession's evolving, technology, one of the trends that we see is STEM in accounting. That's happening, in accounting education, and we see that on the CPA exam evolving in 2024. We've been working with a lot of universities to integrate technology with accounting, and we've seen a lot of domestic candidates get more excited the moment they see STEM and technology and accounting with analytics. What's your opinion on this entire trend? And we see that in the industry, where you spoke about AI and tech, getting it back to academia in terms of trying to bring STEM. Do you think this is going to be one of the things which will attract a larger talent pool into accounting? And of course, what's the way forward that you see for accounting and tech? Sometimes you look at these as 2 different professions, or is it one profession?
It's a must. Accounting has to be a STEM field. There's 2 bills in front of Congress right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That are doing just that. And I think, I don't know what the likelihood of that going through or whatever, but it's just a natural fit. And if it is, if you look at it, it's just, accounting belongs in STEM. If you think of it with the data analytics and everything else in there, and it just adds another field of expertise in there. And what that'll do is that'll help the pipeline of accountants, and it helps the economy. It helps you, it gets good business people, in the workforce. And it's going to put that, talk about making it sexy. That's going to help it make it sexy. That's part of a STEM program. Accounting is a STEM program. That is really the cool part of it right there, is if you can integrate all of that in there, and then that opens up a lot of other doors too, especially for international students.
Our focus is masters, but they're doing it even at the undergrad level. The domestic candidates get more excited, and this, exactly as you said, opens up an opportunity for international candidates.
Absolutely.
So we've seen this in tech many decades ago. When tech was booming and there was a shortage of tech talent.
Yep.
And of course, you make tech very attractive. You have the bigger firms who and you have like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates of the world, really, trying to be poster boys of tech, and of course, tech was always STEM, of course, and that attracted a lot of international engineers, including from India. You had, those folks coming into America, doing a master's in computer science, ending up getting a longer OPT, and that, of course, converted, and a lot of them stayed back for a very, very long time. Now, this was never true for accountants, right? You don't really have a lot of international talent coming in to the US. You have had a few, but not a lot. But this allows international talent to come in and, have the same opportunity as engineers do. What do you think of this model, in general, and for RBG in particular?
Well, I think it's great, absolutely great, because as I understand it, you're going to get an extra 2 years to be able to work your work visa in the U.S. if it is a STEM program there. So I think it's amazing, and I think it's going to drive people, international students, into the field of accounting. that want to come to the U.S. and work. And for us again, we look at all avenues of on how and where to find talent. You know, whether it's abroad, whether it's outsourcing or whatever, because we use all of it. And but I think this is just another avenue that we will use, definitely.
So, how do you see international talent really fitting in? I mean, would you see cultural challenges? How do you see diversity in the accounting profession? Any thoughts on that, Skeet?
From just like a DEI perspective?
Yeah,
or,
DEI perspective in general, and again, international folks working in RBG.
Yes.
Do you think that's going to be a good mix for the firm?
Yeah. So what we have done is we have started. We have folks working remotely. We have folks working remotely in the Philippines. We have what we call RBG Philippines.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we have 6. Well, our target is going to be 8 this year. We're going to double it by next year. And so, but they are client facing. And so.
Okay. So they're not like a back office.
No, they are client facing. They work our hours, and so they'll be on Teams meetings with the client. And,
amazing.
Yeah, and so that's just like having somebody remote working in a city next door, is because they're all in all of our Teams meetings. I went down there in January with one of our audit directors.
Amazing.
I went down there to do our core value speech. We have 2 more partners going down there in November to visit our team down there. They're going to do another core value speech for our new employees down there, and also to do some training. So we want to. They're very, very important to us. Our what we call RBG Philippines. And then we also do a lot of outsourcing on tax returns. We probably outsource 20% of our tax returns.
Amazing.
Again, that helps reduce the workload compression. Absolutely. At our busy times. We're not taking jobs away from the U.S. at all. What we're trying to do is create the live well, work well environment here by doing this.
Amazing. So I'm going to come back to outsourcing in a bit, but you spoke about core values, and I see this lovely handout, and you really carry these core values along, even when you're sitting for a podcast. So do you want to talk a little bit about, core values, of this more than 100-year-old firm, and how do you really sustain, build on these?
So culture to us is everything. Our core values define our culture. We articulated our core values better. And so now what we do is, we have, if you go around our office right now, you'll see the core values pinned on everybody's wall. And so everybody has core values on their website and everything, but we actually live and breathe it, because I get measured on how well I live the core values by my partners. They grade me every year on this.
Let me ask you a controversial question. Which is your favorite?
It's ownership.
Okay.
It's ownership. It's just because ownership, you own your career. Nobody else does it. You own it. That's why I tell everybody when I go through the core values, I said there's only one person responsible for your career, and that's you. Don't make any excuses. You are responsible for whatever you have done. You've made the choice to be here. We're a product of our own choices, right? You're here by your choices. I'm here by my choices, right? And so that's the beauty about it, is that you can do whatever you want, but you got to own it. So that's my favorite core value. But it is every one of them have a very deep meaning, and so we all get great. Everybody in the firm gets graded on how well they live the core values at least once a year. I have what's called a core value bar. And if there's ever any issues with employees, I can go down the core value bar and go through the ratings, and I can pick out exactly what the issue is. And if people don't meet our core values, then they're not the right person for the right seat. That's how we hire, fire, and promote, is by our core values.
Amazing. And in the core value bar, so everybody discusses,
everybody knows it,
including Skeet Haag, the managing partner.
Huh? What's that?
Including Skeet Haag,
they grade me. They come up and I get graded by my partners. I grade my partners. So we all grade each other, and then everybody else gets graded by their peers, or by their the people they work for. So we try and maintain the culture here, and culture to us is everything. And people, I preach this all the time. But we really, really do live and breathe our core values.
Practice, we preach.
Yeah.
And Skeet, you also have a lovely dashboard, and I'm sure you will be doing with this for all your clients as well. With the vision of the firm, you have a 1-year plan, you have a 3-year picture, a 4-year plan. a little bit about what's the way forward for RBG.
So we try to be very intentional about everything we do, and we've adapted the OS model as far as how we approach this. And so what we do is we take a 1 year, a 10-year, 3-year, and a 1-year plan. Right. So we start with the 10-year plan. We say, where do we want to be in 10 years? And we work back, okay, so to be here in 10 years, we got to be here in 3 years. To be here in 3 years, we got to be here in 1 year. And then that 1 year, we break that down into quarters. That 1 quarter is broken down into every 2 weeks. So we go into every 2 weeks, we say, okay, well, this is what needs to happen. We go through, and then we start measuring everything. You can't change anything unless you measure it. This establishes accountability. This establishes key performance metrics. And so we do that, and then every 4 months we take a look to see if this changes. And then every year we revise our 1 year, our 3 year, and our 10-year model.
Amazing, amazing.
And we share this with, every time it gets changed.
This sounds more like a corporation than a public accounting firm.
Well, but we share our vision, and that's how you motivate people. If they understand how they are part of this.
In accounting, we say, Dilly, just do it like last year.
That's the fun part about this, is we try and create an ownership of this. You're part of this group, and if you look at our target niches down here, now we're developing game plans. This is the RBG game plan. We are developing game plans for each one of our target niches, to where that's going to roll up into our game plan here. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have their own strategic plan. And so we try and be very intentional about everything we do.
So which are the areas where you see a lot of growth? When you look at a 10-year vision or a 3-year vision, which are the areas, consulting, advisory, tech, which are like your...
Advisory, CAS. Advisory and CAS, our client accounting and advisory services are 2 big areas, and we identify those in our game plan here on where we want to be in 3 years as far as advisory goes and as far as CAS goes. And so we establish specific targets on where we want to go there. So this basically, our RBG game plan defines who we are, where we're going, and how we're going to get there. And again, if we do that for CAS, if we do it for advisory, that helps us. It helps guide us to where we want to go.
So do you see CAS particularly growing in the last few years, especially with the accountant shortage, which is affecting the firms and also affecting industry? Do you see that as one of the reasons why CAS is growing up, or industry just wants to focus on their business, give accounting to one firm, audit to another, and let the firms deal with each other?
CAS presents just a tremendous amount of opportunity, and that's where we see it. So we have strategic objectives on how to get there.
Got it.
And
why do you think this is happening at such a large level at this point?
It's amazing how that has evolved, because it used to be just, quote, bookkeeping.
Yep.
But now with technology, you're able to do so much more with less.
It's like a virtual CFO. Everything's.
You can do so much more with less, and so now then you can create Power BI dashboards for your clients. You can do all the stuff that they're going to get value from, and but all of that is stuff that we are working on to get there. And but there are a lot of firms out there that are doing this now. A lot of people in our association.
So this also is a great growth opportunity for CPA firms. Absolutely. I mean, you see that for RBG. Do you see that for a lot of other CPA firms as well?
Oh, tremendously. And the people in our CAS don't necessarily need to be CPAs. Okay, they could be whatever.
Yep.
In our risk management or advisory, we do a lot of risk management. Those people don't have to be CPAs. And so we're looking at all non-traditional ways to go with this. And so we're not just your traditional CPA firm. Matter of fact, our traditional metrics, if you will, of a CPA firm or realization, hours worked and everything else. But with us outsourcing and everything, the hours, your realization per hour really doesn't work, because if we outsource everything, there are no hours associated with that. So we've got to come up with different metrics. So our metric that we are really focusing on is gross margin. So we don't really focus in on the realization, because our gross margin is really what dictates everything.
Amazing. And just coming back to outsourcing, and we discussed this earlier, do you see outsourcing as as a long-term strategic plan, which not only helps you, of course, make life easier for your team here, also reduce cost? I mean, what's your
at this point, yes, I certainly do. We again, for our firm, we outsource about 20% of our returns, and we look to increase that. But I do look at that as a long-term strategy. Unless something drastically changed, that's got to be a strategy for us to help with the workload compression and to create this live well, work well environment.
So let me ask you this: what's the primary incentive for outsourcing today? Is it the shortage of talent? Is it cost? Combination of both?
We did it for one reason and one reason only: workload compression. Is to the fact that somebody doesn't have to stay up here
all night
to do it. Is we can outsource 20 returns and have them back the next day that somebody here does not have to prepare them. But it goes through our normal
review process.
Review process. Once it gets done, it comes here and goes through our normal review process. Again, it's like having somebody next door prepare the return and come in here. So it's worked quite well, and we look at that as a very viable strategy going forward. So that and as well as using international
talent.
Absolutely.
So Skeet, what's the workforce growth, staff growth that you see here, in your offices in the U.S. Over the next few years? I mean, and you're seeing a lot of opportunities. You talk about CAS, advisory, risk. Do you see workforce really increasing exponentially, or you're going to be using technology and managing this with a lesser workforce, maybe some outsourcing? I mean, What's your plan?
It's very interesting because we used to have on our game plan, one of our targets was what we call RPRS, the number of RPRS, which is the number of employees.
Yeah.
We refer to it as RPRS. We took that off, and we replaced it with margin because of outsourcing. Because there's so many things that are getting done not in this office, and there's no hours to show for it, right? We just have the expense, so that's why you got to go with the gross margin. But yeah, I mean, with technology and everything, we're basically running out of space here. We're hoteling, and so everybody just goes in and I'm going to use this office today, and so but we're running out of space here. So it is. I'm seeing a large increase in our staffing and our staffing needs. I see even bigger based on our projected growth.
So so you guys start off in Tennessee. What's the plan in terms of geographical expansion, or the focus is within the state?
So we do business all around the nation. I mean, while a lot, and most of them are going to be Memphis owned, but like our financial institution group, we do work from Boston to Montana. Wow. So we have a very robust financial services group, I should say, that we do work with, and that's another high growth area that we see there. But yeah, so we're pretty much all around the nation. Where we do our work, but a lot of we just see a lot of opportunity here. One of our focuses are what we call private client group, which is basically going to be more high net worth individuals, families here. We have a lot of expertise in that field, a lot of expertise, and we believe that we do that really well.
Got it.
And so that's where we're trying to grow.
And they would have investments and stuff all over the country, all over the world, and that's okay.
Yeah, and then we also have our RBG Wealth Advisors, which our why statement is to challenge and inspire our customers and our clients to achieve their goals while creating lasting legacies. So our Wealth Advisors, we just started that a couple of years ago. That helped us complete our why statement to help achieve those goals by creating lasting legacies. If someone comes in, they sell a business, that we can help them do the estate planning and also manage their investments, as well as do all their financial planning. That's the big key is, do I have enough to live on? Do I have this? So that's something we can help people with.
So amazing exposure for the entire team, especially when they're working on these opportunities. So Skeet, so what's amazing about Tennessee? And I've been reading about Tennessee on my flight here, and of course, everybody knows about Elvis Presley and music. Was reading about hot chicken and and barbecue, and I think that's sort of is pretty much in line with what we eat back in India. We love hot food, and I'm going to try some of that before I leave. And then the whiskey. So what's it about Tennessee? What's the X factor? Why should an accountant? I mean, what's there for an accountant here in Tennessee to have some fun?
Well, and I'll speak to Memphis particularly. Memphis is just a great place to grow up. It's a great place to raise a family, and with the food scene here is just absolutely phenomenal.
And you also have hot food.
Well, we have, yeah, you have any kind of food you want. Believe me, you have any kind, but obviously we're known for barbecue. We have great barbecue places there. And so, everybody does their own barbecue, as do I. But it's just, Memphis is just a great place to raise a family. And it's a very diverse city. But it's just a great place if you want to, the schools here are great. It's just a great place to raise a family.
And if I ask you one reason which you love Memphis, what's the number one reason for you to love Memphis?
It's probably just Memphis has a unique culture. And I love the blues. I don't go to Beale Street anymore, very much anymore. But it's just the music. The music scene here is amazing, and it's just got its own unique culture.
So do accountants in Memphis jive when they dance?
Well, I'm the last person you ever want to see dance. Believe me, I'm the last person you ever want to see dance.
Okay, I have a bunch of rapid fire questions for you, Skeet. So let's start. It's a warm up. Coffee or tea?
Neither.
Neither. Whiskey?
No. No, I'm a water guy in the mornings. Yeah.
So early bird or a night owl? Okay.
Actually both. Early bird and night.
Okay. You've been a night owl early on, and maybe now you're an early bird as a managing partner.
Yeah, I'm an early bird.
Okay. What's your favorite accounting software?
It would probably.
It's evolved. I know.
Yeah, I'm thinking of everything that we're using right now.
You can talk about a software 30 years back. None of us would know that.
The favorite accounting software, from an audit perspective, I do like Engagement. Although Engagement's coming up with some new upgrades. They need to, but I do like that.
Most challenging accounting task that you've undertaken?
The consolidation standard came out, and having a multiple level ownership and trying to figure out what needs to be consolidated, what does not need to be consolidated. When you're dealing with VIEs, variable interest entities, that was probably when that accounting guidance came out, that was probably the most confusing things on when to consolidate, what is a VIE, what is not a VIE, and that there's been some guidance that's come out in recent years to help with that. But when that first came out, that was just like, it was just.
You may not own majority in a company, but you still need to consolidate because it's substance of.
Yeah, well, because you just didn't know who had control, or was there somehow was it a variable interest entity, and if so, did it qualify for consolidation? So to me, that was probably the hardest thing, the most challenging accounting standard to deal with.
Okay, so we'll drift apart. Favorite vacation destination?
Probably lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite food?
I am a pizza guy.
Okay, pizza guy, amazing.
Yeah. That's my
so
wife
pizza
says.
with barbecue.
Yeah, you can put barbecue on pizza, and you can. I flip between barbecue and pizza, but it was both. Yeah, I like. Yeah.
So one word, Skeet, for your leadership style.
From one word for my leadership style.
I know it's amazing. So what's the best part of working at RBG?
The people. The people here are amazing. It's amazing how well we have worked together for a common goal. And a part of it, I think, is the RBG game plan. Everybody coming together for a common vision. And everybody, you always have challenges, right? And, what I think was Sean McVay that said this, that, we attack our successes and we don't let failures bother us. There's going to be challenges, there's going to be setbacks. That's what we try and do. We try and attack our successes, and we try and have the courage to take chances. And if we fail, we fail, right? But we got to learn from it. And that's the beauty about the people here, especially our partner director group, is that that's what we do. We take calculated risk, but we're not afraid to do that.
And I was just looking at your dashboard. I was peeking, and I saw the NPS 96.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you achieve? I mean, we've been trying to do NPS at Miles, and we do good with our team, but we're nowhere close. I mean, it's like I won't reveal the number; it just doesn't compare.
Well, we did it. We do our NPS and Net Promoter Score every year. And last year we did score 96, which was the highest we had ever scored. And I tell people that the bar is set. I said it is hard to beat that bar. And but we take client service to a nth degree. And when we do that, when you care, when you have passion about your clients, you're passionate about what you do, If you live our core values, that's going to be kind of the result. And but again, we measure it every year. That's the highest we've ever gotten. And I was shocked when it came out last year, which was great. I love it, but then I'm going
Good
like,
shock.
this is, it's a good
Pleasant
shock.
surprise,
It's
yeah.
a good shock. Yeah.
So what's your favorite RBG tradition?
Oh,
And I know you would have a lot of them.
We have a great holiday party, a great Christmas party, and we always have it offsite someplace, but it's always a lot of fun to bring everybody in, and it's just a great time. It's a great time during the holidays to kind of let loose.
And it's coming soon.
Yeah, it'll be sooner than later. Yes, very much so. Very much so.
What's been your most memorable career moment? I don't know, you would have a lot of that. But
Yeah, it goes a long way. It's not really one event.
I know it's been a long career.
Well, it's really probably the game plan, is the development of the game plan over the last 3.5 years, because it was not overnight, but it wasn't just me.
And putting it into a 1-page, 2-page dashboard,
Yeah.
I think that's...
Yeah, it wasn't just me, and it was everybody buying into it, and just developing this vision for the firm. And again, it's just not my vision; it's everybody's vision. And so we all came together to form this, and then now we've kind of just spread that all throughout the firm. Again, we use kind of an EOS model on this, and but nothing's perfect, right? But another thing too is, and I talked about RPRS, what we do here, and again we talk about the core values. Everybody here in the firm has a coach. Okay, I have a coach.
Wow.
But everybody here has a
Do
coach.
you need a coach?
Yes, I do. Believe me. Believe me, I need a coach. And if anybody needs a coach, I need a coach. But everybody here has a coach. We meet once a month with your coach, a formal meeting. It's documented. But then that helps us keep the pulse of the firm. And our coaching model is not perfect, but it has worked out really well. Is the fact that if you're my coach, then I come in, and if I'm the coachee, I got to take ownership of it, our core value ownership. I take ownership of it. I came and I talked to you, well, this month, what do I need to do better? What's going on? And then the coach tries to mentor this person or to help this person, get to the next level.
Yes.
And with their goals. We have what's called, here's the RBG game plan. Everybody has their own what's called my RBG game plan, which sets out their goals for the year. And then you meet every month to go over it. Every quarter you have what's called rocks to try and achieve those goals.
Amazing, amazing. So if Skeet Haag wasn't an accountant, what would he be?
If I had enough talent, I said this the other day, I'm a basketball junkie. Okay. And so if I had enough talent, I would have loved to have been an NBA player.
Oh, amazing. So that means you still love playing basketball. And you're pretty tall, you're pretty good, you're like made for basketball.
I used to play basketball, yeah. So it was, but that would be my, if I had enough talent, that's what I would have loved to have done.
So on your bucket to-do list, what's it that you haven't done yet?
As I tell people, I don't have a bucket list, honestly, because I have. If I died tomorrow, I'd be the happiest person on the earth. There's really not one thing that's just say I've got to do this. There's a lot of things. I like to travel, but I have in my life I have achieved more than I thought I would. So through the firm, through my family, and everything else. So I really don't have a bucket list. And if there was, and again, there's not one or two things that I've got to do before I die. It's just, it is what it is.
You've achieved like the Zen status, nirvana.
Well, it's just, you're just happy with where you are.
And it shows, and it shows, absolutely.
Yeah, you're happy with where you are. So, I'm very content, and yeah, do I like to travel? I like to travel, I like to do stuff and things like that. But still, there's not any one thing that is going to be on my bucket list.
Amazing, Skeet. So Skeet, before we wrap up, one piece of advice for a lot of young accountants, in the US and across the world, what would you have for them?
I use one of our core values, ownership. Own your career. There's only one person responsible for your career, and that's you. There's not going to be anybody else. Have the courage to take a chance, to have the courage to make a mistake and be okay with it. It's not the mistake what you do, it's what you do after that mistake, right? you know, how you learn from that mistake. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Have the courage to do something new. Take ownership of your career and you know, get out of your comfort zone. You know, a lot of times if you don't feel comfortable about talking to people, take that initiative to talk to somebody. You know, it's amazing what one conversation can change your life. And so, but you're never going to know unless you have that conversation. So have the courage to have that conversation.
This is amazing. Thank you so much,
Thank
Skeet.
you.
Really appreciate. This was amazing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So guys, that was Skeet Haag, managing partner at RBG, running and leading a legacy, with very strong, deep-rooted values. Thank you, Skeet.
Thank you.
Cheers.